Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless podcast. This will be for Wednesday, August 26th. Coming out Wednesday, August 27th, because it is the HollingsWorthless podcast. As always, I'm your host, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth, and we have the McCannible, a.k.a. S&M, a.k.a. McCann-Do, Sean McCann.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here to join you on this beautiful day morning.
Yes. And your thing's like stuttering the video. But I said on the last podcast, this would be the last podcast using this audio. But you know what? Shit happens. So this will probably be the last one. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyways, so much to talk about. There's definitely a theme that Sean and I had talked about for this podcast that we will still get to. But we have to address first the stuff going on in Milwaukee. And as of us broadcasting right now, NBA just boycotted all the games are canceled tonight because the Bucks walked out, and then all the other teams followed. And you said you saw Kenny Smith walked out.
Yeah, he walked out, and WNBA just announced that they're not playing. But I don't know if people really watch that.
I was going to say, I think the fans have been boycotting the WNBA.
But I get the idea behind it.
Yeah. So, and right before we started recording this, we were talking about all the stuff and the shootings going on in Milwaukee and how nuts it is. I was just thinking about it today, dude, and I was watching it, and you know, I know this isn't the manly thing to say or whatever, but I was like, dude, that shit is terrifying.
It's crazy.
Dude, I like all sides of it are terrifying.
Yeah.
Whether you're like, you know what, I want to go protest, and you go out, and you know, whether you're black or white or whatever, you don't know what you're getting into, or the other side of it, if you're a guy that's just trying to protect your business, that's terrifying because there's armed people, you know, justified or not. There's people that are armed that are like, maybe it's their life work, and they're like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to protect it. So I'm like, dude, this is fucking crazy.
And dude, I got to say this, and I've been thinking about this since I watched all those different angles of what happened last night. I was on Reddit, you know, watching what happened and trying to understand it. And here is kind of something I'm landing on. And I hate to get into like a race thing here, but that's what it's about, right? So obviously that's what it's about. I don't know what white folks' motivation is, individual white folks' motivations are for being out there. And that's what makes me nervous. So as I see black folks out there or people of color, whatever that may be, whether it's Asian, Latino, or Latinx, I think they call it now, whatever that is, I have a pretty good idea of what your motivation is to be out there. You're out there to protest all the shit that's going on, to give voice to something. I'm taking away the destruction part out of it. I want to get that part to the side because there's a level.
Protesters. There's protesters and looters, right?
But I'll acknowledge that there's a level within protesting to be heard. I mean, destruction happens. And I'm not saying for catching shit on fire and stuff. I'm saying that if you're not going to hear me whisper, and you're not going to hear me talk, and you're not going to listen to me yell, I need to do something so you hear me. And I guess that means I got to throw a rock at something, or I got to spray paint something. That's not to say I want people hurt on either side. Dude, I don't want cops hurt. I don't want protesters hurt. So, but let's put the rioting. No, I don't want it. Yeah, put the rioting shit to the side. On its face, when I see people of color out protesting, I have a fairly good assumption, and I think it's pretty well educated, of what your motivation is, and that is to, whatever it is, it's within furthering forward equality. Again, that idea of Black Lives Matter is to say everyone matters, but don't forget, Black Lives Matter, right? If that's what you have to hear, white folks or whoever it is that has a problem with the Black Lives Matter thing, put it in that context for yourself. Hey, sure, I'm going to say that nobody will disagree with you, black, white, or otherwise, that all lives matter. We will all agree to that, okay? So you got us. We all agree. I'm going to put a comma on the end of it now. Don't forget, too, that Black Lives Matter. Okay, so let's put it on the end of it. If that gets you to understand it just a touch better. And I know why you don't understand is because you don't want to, but whatever. So anyway, to move past that.
Is your camera's moving like?
I think it's because I'm on this table. I'll keep my hands.
All right.
But on the other side, I don't know. When you're a white person out there, I'm not sure what your motivation is.
Now, okay, hold on before you go with that point. I don't know if it's devil's advocate, but maybe making a point. You're saying white people that are out there that are not protesting?
That are protesting.
Oh, even white people that are protesting.
Yeah.
Because they could be saying, I mean, because the point could be, well, I'm for Black Lives Mattering, and I'm out here to show my support to my black brothers and sisters.
Yep, there's a motivation, and I think that exists. But here's another one. How many fucking videos? And look.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen these yet, get on Reddit, man. Go to public freakouts and go to actual public freakouts, and it is a wealth of info. Go in there, and I want you, seriously, take a piece of paper and a pen with you, turn that shit on, and you start watching videos and count how many times there is a white motherfucker out there with a rock or with gas or with a lighter pulling some shit, and then you got black folks running up saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this right now? We're here for a reason. What the fuck are you here for?" So I mean, when I go out into, when I see this shit going on, and I see these white folks out there and they're fucking screaming and yelling, is this for you or is this for the cause? That's what I want to understand. And I know that, and look, I know this is going to come back in the comments, so don't deflect what I'm saying, comment writers. Okay, I'm not going to allow you to deflect. I know there is a great number of white folks out there that are for the cause. Hey, yo, we're both for the cause too, right? And it sucks that it has to be a cause because it's just kind of common sense that we all are. Yes. But unfortunately, that's not reality. So I am for what I'm calling the cause. And I know that there's a bunch of white folks out there too. But what I also know is there's a bunch of white folks out there that aren't. And that makes me nervous. And it's diluting the message that folks who actually give a shit are trying to get across.
100%.
The wrong people are talking. That's the problem. The wrong people are talking to each other.
And the other thing too, piggybacking off of that, I think white people, and there was like, I'll give the example after I say it, but I was going to say, people are using the excuse or using Black Lives Matter to justify fucking
it up.
Yeah. Like there was the dude in Portland. Did you see the black dude? That so there was a white dude that was trying to protect a trans person, right?
Yeah.
And these people are beating the shit out of the trans person, and they're like, "Black Lives Matter, you white motherfucker!" And this trans person, I think, might be homeless or they're
look like it.
Yeah. And so then a white dude tried to be like, "No, fucking chill out." And then people just started, and he tried to take off. His car crashed. They pulled him out. Dude kicked him in the head, knocked him out or whatever. And these people are yelling Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, you racist fuck. And the guy's like, I mean, the guy didn't, from everything we've seen in the video, I don't know his history or anything, but if you're going off just that whole interaction, there was nothing that he wasn't racist. He's just white, and right. So you have white people that are, I'm going to fucking shoot people or destroy property because Black Lives Matter, and then the actual Black Lives Matter people are like, yo, that ain't our thing, bro. That's not
right.
And you're giving us a bad mark from doing that. And Sam Tripoli, our buddy Sam Tripoli, great comic who also has the Tinfoil Hat podcast. He posted, it's interesting, and for anybody listening or anybody that knows me, a lot of times I will reserve saying anything on anything until I try and get all sides of it as much as I can. But Sam posted an interesting video of the kid, the whole interaction. And so
what kid? The shooter?
The 17-year-old, yeah.
Oh, he's 17?
So 17, not from there. He's not from that area. He came there. Now what Sam posted was, there was a video where they're all in this, they're like at a gas station, And the guy that got shot in the head was like, shoot me, motherfuckers, I dare you, shoot me, blah, 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 right? The next part of the video, you see the shooter, he hasn't shot anybody yet. He's walking towards, supposedly he was protecting property of these cars in this area. He's walking towards them. Somebody throws a Molotov cocktail at him that misses. And then the guy that was like, shoot me in the head earlier is running up behind him. I don't know, it's pretty far away, so I don't know what happened, but then he shoots the guy, right? Guy goes down. Then the next part of the video, the kid's walking towards the cops. Well, he actually leaves there and he calls the cops saying, I just shot someone. So he's calling himself.
Oh, that's on video. Yeah. That's on video, actually, him saying that on the phone.
He calls himself in. He's like, hey, I just shot someone. Then the next part of the video, they show him, he's walking towards the police, hands up, and then he trips. And everybody bum rushes him, and then that's when he starts shooting other people.
Got it.
Now, if you want to go way back to the very beginning, he's not old enough to have that gun. The gun's not in his name. And why the fuck are you there? Like you said, why he's not from Milwaukee. He's not from the area. Dude, it's fucking. But like I was telling you at the beginning of this, when I watched all those videos, I'm like, it's fucking terrifying. I'm like, what if that was my front door? What if that's fucking out here? Dude, I've never thought about, I had a gun way back 20 some years ago. I had it for maybe about 9 months. I did all the training because I didn't want to just be some asshole that had a gun because I thought it was cool. I learned how to clean it, how to fire it properly, how to maintain it. And then one day I had the thought about it. I just was sitting there thinking, I was like, holy shit, I could take somebody's life with this. And it just freaked me out, so I got rid of the gun, right? And I've never thought about getting a gun since then until today, when I was like, fuck. And then you think about, fuck, dude. I mean, even if it is self-defense, is it going to get spun, or could it be spun some way? Dude, it's just, the whole scenario is terrifying to me.
Yeah, and so then you go like, so it's hard when you like have a full set of events that then you start dicing up into like, well, if I only look at it from this perspective or take this chunk of it, I can rationalize a certain thought behind it. But then if I take this chunk, I could rationalize a different one. So it's like this dude, this kid with the gun, he's got it with him. And now somebody throws somebody's saying, hey, shoot me, being super aggressive. Somebody throws a thing at him. Thank you, I couldn't get that word, at him. And now he shoots, he's got his arms. So now all of a sudden you're like, dude, that's such a big self-defense. Obviously, man, like he was in fear for his life. When he tripped, dude, people came after him. Oh, yeah. And he started shooting out bullets. So yeah, totally self-defense. Okay, but hold up, wait.
Yeah.
Then there's this idea, it's like kind of legalese-ish, but it's like, if not, but for the fact that he came with a rifle to an event that he shouldn't have, none of this would have happened. And that's not that, but you can't also line that up with, well, dude, I got in a car wreck and my passenger died. You couldn't say, well, but for the fact that I picked him up in the car, that he wouldn't have died otherwise. You can't say that, because that's starting to get into like, you need 2020 to look back at a moment. But this is actually true. But it also, there's this real big problem right now. And I actually say this is a question for folks that may want to comment on it or think about it. I think it's an interesting conversation to have. And I have a feeling that people who are listening to this, who it isn't their first time. So if it's your first time, you're not going to know who the hell I am or who Jay is, really. Or maybe you know who Jay is. But if you've been on here, they know who you are for sure and where you come from. And I think people may be getting a better idea of who I am. I've been on a few of these, and I've been on this shit for past 8 years at some point. This is an honest question. Can we actually melt together as different cultures and races? Is it something that is actually not possible, that we are trying to force? That is not me coming from a white supremacist angle. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm honestly saying though.
By the way, as you say that, somebody
Yeah.
could look at your hat and it says white, YT, white.
All right, that is so true. Holy shit! And that you said that now,
Oh,
that sucks.
And now you have to get rid of that hat. Oh, nice white hat. It's the Tacoma Yankees.
Yo,
Fucking,
it's the Tacoma Yankees from 1973, the only season they existed. Okay, so
oh, fuck. Well, that hat goes back. Fucking
cool.
hilarious. Oh,
So anyway, whoa. Not only does it seem like it says white, it does. It says white.
It's white. It says YT white.
It's fucking cool. Well, that was fun. I'll use that to mow the lawn now. No, I can't do any activity outside. I can't use.
There goes $40.
Great. Well, cool. Just learned something else. Hey, but
back to your point.
Jesus, yeah. I wonder though.
Now, why do you say that? So people can see in your. This sounds so fucking, but to see in your heart or where you're coming from, like you said, for somebody that doesn't know you, I know you, I know your upbringing and everything, but for somebody that doesn't, what in your heart, why do you say that, or why do you wonder that?
Because it's so tough to articulate, dude. I've been it's a question that's run into my mind from a logical standpoint, from a conditional standpoint. It's from this place of like, we don't come together societally. We don't come together. No, it's not that. Because, dude, it's not that. Because I'll tell you why we can. Because we do. That's why. I'm starting to actually get wrapped up in kind of a media like personification of this. And really what this is and I'm going to say the sentence that I call people out on for saying, because I fucking hate it when they say it. But dude, I have so many black friends that I've lived with, that were part of my clique. Prior to my, I was the only white kid in my clique forever. So it's just what you're used to. I know that there is no problem there. That there's like that. I didn't force any of that. It's a societal issue. For sure. I don't know, dude. I'm really I'm struggling with why is it. I think this. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around, dude. I'm trying to grab a thought.
And and by the way, I also know that everything can be misconstrued, so you're picking your words carefully. I get that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you're not just speaking freely because I totally get that.
And if you want to be a clown and you want to try to twist or turn or deflect off what I'm saying in the comments, like, you can do that. I won't respond to it because I don't give a fuck what you think. When you're deflecting and shit, because I know what you're doing. I know your intent. Everything you say, anything anybody ever says to me, I look at the intent behind it, not what you're saying. So go fuck yourself if you want to argue some dumbass point. I'm saying that I feel like that there is this hyper focus on things that are happening when it comes to words that people are saying to each other. So like, people are saying racial shit to each other, dropping N-bombs on people, or it'll go back the other way. Like, dude, it goes both ways in this, right? I'm not talking about the systemic problems right now. I'm taking it down to individual levels. I'm wondering, dude, when people drop it, like, we have especially dudes, and women are getting really good at this because their true colors are shining nowadays. But we want to do something that gets to the quickly. We want to say some shit that'll fucking pierce you. Used to be dropping the F-bomb on somebody, but we don't do that anymore, right? The slur for gay folks. Or it used to be calling somebody the R word, right? Which is the other word for people who have mental disabilities. We would say things to hit quick. Dudes still call each other cocksuckers or, fuck a donkey, whatever these things are. So I think that is a lot of what's going on too, is that we have video that are catching people saying really stupid, derogatory pejoratives to each other, when in fact that person is not actually a person who would probably speak that way in their real life. I would hope. I think there's a contingent of that. I think there's a contingent of white nationalists who have come together as a group to hate legitimately another group. So I'm not discounting that. I think that's a big issue. I also think that there's a hyper focus put on that kind of stuff too when media gets involved. They start like shining a light on the 15 people at a street corner screaming some shit and say that's representative of every every white person, and that's just not true. So I guess what I'm getting to is we need to also have a reality check with ourselves. If we want to fix this, there's really only one way to do it, and that's called empathy. It all swerves around empathy. We have to, empathy is not to be mixed with sympathy though. Sympathy is to feel sorry for another person. And so if I said to empathize with a school shooter, you're going to hear me saying, dude, give him some sympathy. Feel bad for what he had to grow up in. Feel bad for his situation and shit. No, that's not empathy. That's sympathy. Empathy means that I will try to have an understanding as to why he's doing that shit.
You're just like,
get it. Right, yeah. But so we have to empathize with each other. Hey, I think I said this before, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it goes back to this. The whole thing around the NFL and kneeling for the flag. Or I could phrase that a different way. That whole thing around the national anthem and being pissed at people for kneeling for the flag, right? That's both the angles.
Oh, yeah.
When you're kneeling for the flag, especially, unless it's for or as a person of color, you are doing that because you are saying that what this flag represents to me, because of my generational experience with that, it represents to me those things that hold me down individually because I'm part of a group that has been specified being black. Right? So you're holding me down individually and you're holding down my group of black folks. And so that represents to me this kind of ceiling. So I kneel to the flag. I don't lay down, I don't spit on it, I don't put it on fire. I kneel to it respectfully. As now I'm going to switch other sides. On the other side, there's folks that have been in the military, and really I'm only going to speak to them. I don't care about white folks in general. I don't care about anybody in general. I'm speaking to those people that have been in the military and served. And if you ask them, why do you stand for the flag? What does the flag represent to you? It represents the thing that covered my best friend's casket because he volunteered and gave his life for this country. It represents the thing that I hold most dear to my heart because I said I will die for it. And you're like, you're going to die for cloth? No, you don't deflect. You know what I just said. Don't deflect. I'm saying that flag represents this country and the dedication I have to it. And so that's what it represents to me. So when somebody
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
In the military, they say to somebody, it's not about civil rights. It's about the military. So stand. You kneel down. You think you're kneeling down for a purpose or a reason. And I'm telling you, it's not about civil rights. The flag is not about civil rights. It doesn't represent that. It represents the military and what we've gone through. Shh. Hey, military, this isn't about the military. This is about civil rights. It has nothing to do with military. The flag represents civil rights.
Police brutality.
Police brutality, all those things around that I am not equal to you. Do you know who's right in those conversations? Both of them. They're both right.
That's where I knew you were going.
So we have to empathize with each other. You in the military of all people, and I being one of them. I was in the Army. I was an engineer, and I'm going to tell you that you as a military person, past or present, should be proud and good. Good is mostly the thing I want. You should be good with the fact that folks are kneeling with that for that flag, because that's what the fuck you fought for, man.
I was
That's what
just
you
going to
signed
say
for.
they wouldn't be able to kneel if it wasn't for the military.
And it's not a twist. I'm not trying to deflect either. I'm telling you, be proud of that. Look over at your brothers over there that are kneeling down and be like, fuck yeah, you know what? You folks of color that are going through some shit, that are a group that are trying to better yourselves, we're your brothers. We're one of the few over here being military and understand plight and not to the level of black folks. So I am not going down that road. So let's not deflect that either. I'm trying to nail comments before they come through. I'm not trying to relate the two. What I'm saying is we have another group of folks who are about a brotherhood, who are about loyalty and respect.
No man left behind.
Fuck yeah, man. And so let's be brothers to that. On the person of color side, I'm not one. I'm going to say, though, I just want to say from a white person who's been in the military side, let me know you know that, right? I want you to know, and I want to know that you know that to me it is about the military, and be okay and understand why, just as I understand with you, and allow us to each do that thing that it represents to us, because we're both right. We're both right. So let's not say anymore. This is the point.
Yeah.
Let's not say anymore. This isn't about the flag doesn't represent the military. It represents this. Us being equal. Us and our fucking plight. And military folks, let's not say anymore that it's not about civil rights and your plight. It's about the military. That's what the flag is for the military. Let's not just use those words anymore. Let's just say this. The flag represents to me my plight. The flag represents to me the military. Fuck yeah. I respect it.
4 more years for Sean. 4 more years for Sean.
Because what do we do now? Now we found equal playing field. We're on level ground, and we're having a conversation, man. That's why I want to say this, and I'll say it a million times in a row. The wrong people are talking to each other through this.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and the other thing, too, what's funny, too, is the kneeling thing. Kaepernick asked a veteran, how can I protest and do it respectfully? He's asked how you can do it respectfully, and the guy's like, kneeling would be fine. And then
you see that? A person of color in the world of plight, and I'm sorry I'm simplifying it, but I just want to get the thought. What do I mean by that? Person of color with plight and the military person are talking and empathizing.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And don't think these fucking Proud Boys, first off, just get this straight for everybody. That's a joke. What they're doing isn't. Who they are is.
Yeah.
The Proud Boys, don't think anybody I know or that I know like at a tertiary level has any remote interest in joining something that is called the Proud Boys. Nobody gives a fuck about that. And how many are there? None. So fuck them. And I'd wish that they didn't get any airtime anymore, dude, because they're not worth it.
Yeah, dude. And you know, this is going back to what you were saying at the very beginning. Just about everything is people are playing up race in the news, or the divide of race. You know, when going back to, you know, can there be racial harmony in this and that? And there's also, you know, fuck, we have our president do it. People will say shit that they know what they're fucking saying. They're saying as much as they can without actually saying it, but they're saying enough to where I know what he means. Like if that's your view, if you're a racist person and you're like, I know what he means, you're like, I like it, you know, or whatever. And it's this fucking games, dude, that gets fucking annoying. You know, all that shit, it just fucking drives me nuts. Be like, I know what you're fucking doing. I know what you're doing. And it's
like this. Is it like this, dude? Is it like this? A fucking headline I saw today that the media put out. Here's a headline. Black coach Doc Rivers speaks about what happened last night.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the video, but go on.
Ready? Here we go again. I'm going to say it again. Black coach. And you know what I love that he said? And I pulled out a quote for this talk. Well, I pulled it out for when we talked because I knew we were going to. This is what he said. I should just be a coach. You keep reminding me of my color.
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck you. Exactly. Stop it. You know who Kamala Harris is? She's the
Yeah.
VP, the VP candidate.
Oh, yeah.
What's the media call her?
The first black vice president. And yeah.
So I want to celebrate that that is true. And let's do that in the right way. But to every time refer to a human being that has,
By
and
their
I'll tell you this,
color or their
I
race.
don't like Kamala Harris. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't like what she stands for when she was an attorney and how many folks she put in jail for weed offenses and all that bullshit. I don't like that. But what I'm going to tell you is why are we going to tokenize her as a media? Why are we going to tokenize that position and her? You know who she is? She is a woman who's worked her fucking tail end off. Whether I like her or not doesn't matter. I respect what she has done, who she is, and where she's gotten to. So why is she not the vice president candidate just like Mike Pence is? Let's celebrate her. Let's do it at the appropriate time in the appropriate way, or multiple times in ways. But when we are talking about that we need to be a people and that we are all humans, why do you want to continue to stir up the fact that she is the sole different thing? What do you, because now that puts a pressure on her. And now what do other black kids see? Black kids get, and I'm not going to speak for them, but my assumption is that black kids get on there and they're like, oh, she's a black VP. She's not a VP. She's a black one.
Now,
I'm different. I'm a black one.
You know, it's interesting. So two things came up in my head as you're saying this. Well, the first one I'll say is, you know, what's interesting is going back to when JFK was the president, he was the first Irish Catholic. And that was, you know, they kept, I wasn't alive, obviously, then. I mean, barely.
Right, though.
But yeah, I mean, and so then that made me start thinking, okay, now, though, playing the other side of that is, so I'm sure I know the Irish took pride in that. Like, you know.
Can you give some backup for people that don't know? Why would it be a big deal for an Irish person to be in the presidential seat? What kind of history is behind that? And you have a thing on your wall about it, is what I'm trying to get to.
The Nina, the Nina sign, the no Irish need apply. Help wanted, no Irish need apply. Yeah, because, you know, back in the day, the Irish were, I mean, you know, I'm not trying to do levels, but basically, you know, blacks and Irish were, because they're, I mean, immigrants, any immigrants as they've come over here usually started out, you know, they were looked down upon and this and that. And the fact that he was Catholic, that was another thing was huge. First Irish and Catholic. But I know, like, in Ireland for the longest, it was like everybody had a picture of the Pope and JFK because that's how much pride they took in that. So then that makes me start thinking, okay, is the flip of that a representation thing? Like, representation is good. Because this is the second thing I was going to say is, I did a video the other day about comic books and how they're changing everything. Like, they just had a big Wonder Woman, you know, to be inclusive. And I posed the question, and a lot of people said how I would feel. Because, you know, like, they changed Iron Man became like a black teenage girl, and then the Incredible Hulk became an Asian dude, and it was like some Asian guy. I don't know. And so I always thought, like, to me, that's just lazy writing in comics. You know, I'm all for representation and being inclusive, 100%. But I'm like, it just being like, let's just fucking, okay, you know, Mexicans, there's not enough Mexicans represented. Let's fucking Captain America, we're gonna make a Mexican now. Okay, cool.
Right.
You know, rather
lazy.
than, yeah, just fucking let's make a dope Mexican superhero or whatever. So as you're saying that, then playing the other side of that, I'm wondering, is it, does a young girl or a young boy hear that and think of it as like, oh, fuck, we did it, or we can do it too? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm with you.
Black. You know, I'm thinking about the JFK thing. I know everybody took pride in that. So I don't know.
So then but I think it's the difference. I think that I would speak to it because I'm not saying don't. The representation is important, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be recognized. I think what it is this.
That's always the lead.
if I had to get on the phone with somebody every day, and every time we talked about Obama, they said, hey, so Black President Obama did this and this. And it's like, you know what? The first or second time or third time, I'd be like, fuck yeah, isn't that dope, dude? Fucking say that. Black president. I love when you say that in our conversations. That's dope. You said it 23 times to me now, though, on 19 phone calls. And I'm like, hey, dickhead. Why do you keep making that distinction?
It doesn't even matter. It's like, so what is the first Black president like to eat for lunch? Like, why is that?
Yeah, so it's like, no, represent it and get it. That's why I think I might be being a little trite when I say we need to celebrate it. I mean that. I mean it must be recognized and celebrated. What I'm saying is there's a difference between acknowledgement and not persuasion. There's like an acknowledgement means that you acknowledge it at the appropriate times where it matters and has that value, and that's the message you're trying to get across, is that Kamala Harris is the first Black VP, and I want you to know that, because that's the value in this message I'm giving you right now. That's the overarching theme I'm trying to give you for a certain reason. To arbitrarily bring it up as a way to give adjective to her, to describe her, stop with that, because she is a vice president, and you will respect her as that and not tokenize the work she's done. I go back to intent. What is your intent behind the use of that word, words or word, first Black VP or just Black VP? If your intent to me through your content below that headline feels like it had nothing that had to pertain to this thing, now I know what your intent was. You want to stir it up. Because why do you want to stir it up? What's the point? Yeah. Everybody get this in your head. It's to make money off of you. All of those media outlets that put this shit up that we used to call clickbait, but for some reason it's been normalized and it's just a title now. Remember that their only motivation for existing and showing you that shit is for you to click on it so they make ad money. Think about that. That's real talk. So careful what you listen to.
100%. I love it. We were like, no, it's, dude. I mean, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough stuff out there about white guys' opinion on race.
Right, and I'm glad you bring that up, because now what I want to talk about is how Black people should feel about these.
Yeah, right. Make sure people know that was. You know what? I should just edit it right there. Just cut.
Yeah, because I did this too, so people are gonna think that's a lead.
And then once we end, I did make my own recording. I just go, hey guys, Sean said some stuff I didn't really agree with, so I thought I would edit it out. I really apologize. And
as you talk about it, I'm like this.
Yeah. I Photoshop your face so you're like, anyways, all right, we gotta get on to the other thing. So this wasn't, but I mean, we always.
I don't saying anything out of school, dude.
I know that. No.
Yeah.
And dude, when we talk about this shit all the time, like, I mean, offline. So people, again, you said people may not know you or whatever, but they know me, but we both had like that similar upbringing. Like I went to all Black church. I was the white guy, in the Black section in the lunchroom, the only white guy, and whatever. And I have a Black friend.
I think something that's important too that you just said is just as a for instance, if those listeners that are of color that are listening to this right now or watching on YouTube, something Jay said that when we have our own private discussions, dude, we talk about this shit all the time.
Yeah.
This is a constant conversation of these types of things, and not from a riled up, angry. It's these kinds of like.
It's literally how this first half of this podcast works.
Yeah. So, and I imagine that there are a lot of people out there like us that are doing that. So, I'm not trying to make it seem like this is what white folks might do, and I actually don't want to group white folks in a group, because that's just as bad as grouping Black folks or any other group in a group. But just know that there are people in this society, and I think there's a shit ton of them, and I'd like to hope the majority, that do the same kind of shit. So I don't think all's lost, man, as long as we keep talking, but we got to start talking to each other, though.
And empathy.
And empathy is everything in Your mom is screaming down your neck, your brother's fucking with you, your wife is, your husband. Get in their shoes for a second. That's a hard life to live, but dude, empathize so you know how to react, because you have to think to yourself, is this a point that I want to work this out, or do I just want to fight? And then make that choice. If you want to fight, dude, acknowledge it and fight. Go for it. That's your right, man. Fucking duke it out. But if you want to work it out, then maybe think about that too.
And you saw, and we'll get on to the other stuff in a sec, but dude, the fucking Jake Blake video, dude, and the fact that the cop is still holding onto his shirt. He's holding onto his shirt, so that means he's trying to gain control, and he's that close to where the other hand could reach out, maybe try and grab him, but he's holding on with that shirt and firing at that distance 7 times. Fuck, man.
You know what I don't think people are understanding? I'm speaking on not for black folks here. This is on the other side. Since we have such little to none to no understanding of how black folks have experienced that end of life, that and you know, as I was trying to empathize with I'm sorry, we said Jake again, right?
Jacob Blake.
Jacob.
Yeah, Jake Blake.
Oh, sorry.
Jacob.
What was going through his head before the door, around the truck? Here he is, they're handling, you know, which is how I think you're used to it. I know it's how I'm used to it, that we handle our problems in-house. Like, right. we don't get cops involved. We handle it all in-house, whatever it is. And so here he's doing the same thing. He's handling his shit in-house. There's a fight between, I think, 2 women or two people that he broke it up, handled that shit. He didn't call the cops.
Right.
Hey, people are fighting. He handled it. Now cops are showing up, though. And so as human beings, there's this interesting thing that we have 2 sets of conscious in our heads. One is primitive, and one is enlightened. And this is real. I'm not just talking through this, but one is primitive, one is enlightened. One we really don't have much control over. It's very responsive, and one of them we have much more. So the primitive is basically around 2 things. I want to survive and I want to procreate. That's what animals are here. That's why everything we do in life is associated to that. You go to the grocery store to get food. Why? So I can survive. Therefore, I can procreate. I go by a car wreck. The reason I slow down and look at the car wreck is a matter of survival. I would like to see what happened to them. I'm going to size that up. I'm going to analyze it. And if I get in that same position, my primal head wants to tell me this is how you can avoid it. So take in as much info as you can so you can avoid that, so you can survive. This gentleman is now primal. He doesn't have the authority, the agency in his own head now at this point, I'm assuming from what I saw, to use this mind that some of us who don't have crazy interactions with cops have the affordance to use. We can use different things to weigh out what's going on in front of us. You know, we all have to tend into it. We can't make moves, but we're more at ease to do that because we don't have this lingering thought we're going to get killed. This guy's got 4 or 5 cops on him. What starts going through his head? And so what does his body do? His brain says,
flight.
Get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck. These
Flight.
are flight, dude. Don't fight this shit. Get the fuck out. These people got guns. And it's not a moment. It's not the moment that he's recognizing the guns. He's thinking back because our brains are efficient. Like when I see a stop sign, I am not seeing today when I leave and I see a stop sign at a thing. I don't see the stop sign now. Our brains work efficiently. So what it does, I don't say that's an octagon. There's 8 sides. It's an octagon.
Let me spell it out. Yeah.
None of that. You're recalling from when you first saw one. Your brain efficiently stored that away so it can recall that whole thing at once. So same for him. His brain is recalling experience. And because I looked at the car wreck as I went by and understood how to stay away from that, his version of car wreck,
Cops.
What's he do?
Yeah.
I got to get away from this. How do I get away from it? There's a door open. It's on the other side. They're not there. I get in. I can close the door and be safe. Nope. And then somebody pulls on your shirt. So what do? You lean forward. Now, I've heard the idea that he's reaching for a gun or that he could be reaching for a gun. Great. I'm going to take you saying that. You people that say that, and I'll accept that as a thought. And you're like, cool, thanks, finally somebody's listening to me. Good. Cool, I'm going to throw one back at you. Could it be he's trying to get the fuck out of there and he's scared? No, it's not that. He's going for a gun. Well, wait a minute. I heard your side, and I just said, fine, let's use that as an option. Why are you fighting me on the one I just said? Why can't you say, fine, let's look at that as an option too? Where's that at? You don't get their experience. The only reason I'm speaking on this is because I've had so many conversations and have lived with people of color that I have been a side participant to those activities and have heard but not experienced them for myself. So that's where some of this is coming from. So people, understand, you got to empathize. Why the fuck is a black man running from the cops? Think about it. Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you go that he's got a gun? If I was leaning in, would you say I have a gun?
And not only that, why
Fuck, man.
Yeah, and why is the cop's gun drawn already?
We've talked about this, dude. Why is the gun a go-to?
Yeah.
Why is the gun a go-to?
I have not. I don't know this. I don't know the answer to this right now. But I am assuming, and again, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, they show up. This guy just broke up a fight, and now they're trying to question him about it, but they don't know him. They don't know his history. They don't know anything. They just know he's a guy that broke up a fight, and they want to ask him questions about it. And he's like, fuck that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that. Yeah. But if that is the scenario, and he's just, and it's, as far as on the cop side of it, you just see this as a guy that's just trying to get away. Why does the gun come out?
That's right. Right. And on that same note, the way the cops feel about the situation. So let's say they knew everything about him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Let's just go with that. I know every single thing about him. So they know that. So from their side, there's that perspective. How does that, he doesn't know what they know or don't, how does that change his reaction to things? He has not taken in any more detailed information to analyze. Now, if they would have said, hey, yo, dude, we know everything about you, and we're going to give you 5 minutes to think about what that means to you. And then, right, like maybe there's a difference there. Not really. I don't want to go down that road. All I'm saying is that whether they know shit or not has no direct relation to how he feels, and that his primal instinct at his core of his body that he couldn't even explain, or if we went primal, we couldn't explain either. I'm not saying he can't. Right. No human could explain it. That's what he went into, to save his ass.
Yeah, I mean, I think white people that are that don't get this and are trying to wrap their head around is, you have to look at it as when you see the police, how do you view it? When you're in danger and the police show up, what feelings do you get? And think about that. And then now try and imagine if all those feelings were the exact opposite.
Yep.
And again, I can't speak for black people, all black people, a black person. I can't, but from a point of view of if Irish people we're fucking seeing video after video of Irish people getting killed in the street, and growing up, I've seen interactions my Irish family have had with the police, and it's always been a bad experience, whether it was justified or not. And so then the day comes where I'm going to have an interaction with the police, and all I've ever known is interactions with the police end up bad. Again, whether it's a justified thing or not, then I'm going to be like, I got to fight or flight. I got to get the fuck away from the police. So, I don't know, it's just so many, I think a lot of white people are so quick to just be like, I don't know. I was trying to think of an analogy to try and work into a bit, which probably sounds weird to people, but in comedy, sometimes you try and slip a little message in there. And one of the analogies I thought was like, if I'm in a neighborhood and you come over, Sean, and you're like, hey, you know your neighbor Sam? And I was like, yeah, I know Sam. And you're like, dude, that guy's a fucking piece of shit, man. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sam's always been cool to me. And like, dude, every time I talk to that guy, he's a fucking asshole to me. And so there's two ways I can deal with that. I can just be like, oh, well, man, that sucks for you. Sam's always cool to me, so I'll just be cool with Sam. Or I can be like, you know what, well, I need to talk to Sam and figure out what the fuck's going on. Something needs to be done about this. So, you know, I don't know, but I haven't figured out how to make that funny. All right, let's get to the shit that we were going to talk about. But I did, you know, I mean, I think these conversations are important. And, you know, so, I mean, I mean, like you said, in our personal, we don't shy away from them, the uncomfortable conversations. So it needs to be done. So Sean and I were talking about, so this is from a few days ago. And again, Sean's like one of my best friends, you know, and we've known each other for a while, and we've been in both of our ups and downs of our lives. And we were talking about, so we were talking about a more recent down part of your life, Sean, but I was also there for the down part. You went through the same thing, but we weren't roommates. So Sean and I were roommates in Hawthorne, but I want to go back even further. We were in Seattle. We weren't roommates, but you know, I was over at your place all the time. And you were doing something then that you also did in Hawthorne, where Sean is I don't know if there's a bragging thing about you, Sean, or what, but Sean's very prideful and stubborn. And so when there's been times where when Sean's hurting for money for whatever reason, you know, sometimes I'll be like, hey, I'm going to get us some pizzas, because I know that if I'm like, well, fuck, let's talk about how broke you were to where.
All right, here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Watch this. Hold on.
He told me about this, and this is fucking nuts. Hopefully you can hear this.
I'm hoping. I got it queued up. So just real quick, this is from 2017. No, I think it's 2018, I think, actually. Yeah, it's 2018, and I think it's in June. So this is
how long had you been in LA? You moved when?
I got in April 2017.
Okay.
April 2017, and came with a bunch of cash and was good. But this is, I started taking video of you know, I figured maybe I should memorialize some of this, because I've written a lot too, which I've actually gone back and looked at from 2001. You know, I've always been on my hustle, and what comes with that is a lot of ups and downs, man. And the downs can be, I'm not sure that ups have ever measured the same level as the downs.
Well, I mean, in poker, they always say you remember your losses more than your wins.
Good call. Good call. So here's a loss. Here's a loss.
So for those just listening, he's about to play a video on his phone, and hopefully this audio will pick it up.
Yeah, here we go.
But as it is right now, I haven't. I had a little bit to eat yesterday, and then today I couldn't eat till about 8 o'clock. I guess what is it now, like 11 o'clock. But I couldn't eat till 8 o'clock in the evening because I only have 4 pieces of bread, and the 4 pieces of bread have to get me through 4 days. I have a little peanut butter I can throw on there, and I have a couple chips left, but I don't have anything else. I don't have any water. I've been drinking out of this shitty California faucet. Basically where I'm at is I'm in such a hole now that I don't even know how to get out of it. I have no idea.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, and that's just that's 1 minute of 23 minutes on that single one.
So okay, so that at that time, Sean and I are, so I'm going to tell people from my side of it. So Sean and I are roommates. He moved down from Seattle, and just fucking places were not hiring. Dude, and I remember you saying, fuck, okay, I got this email. Okay, I set up an interview. I did the interview. The guy says they love me, blah, 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 and then fucking nothing. So, and how long were you in this, like that level? You were in that for a few months, right?
Oh yeah, it was from February to August.
Okay, so on my side of it, so I knew Sean was, and also Sean had a cat that he would, if Sean had $1 to spend on food, he would spend that $1 on his cat and not on himself. And
fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
And I would say, like, let me spot you or whatever, and Sean would be like, nope, this is my problem. I got to figure it out. And
I got to feel it.
You what?
I had to feel it. I'd say that I have to feel this.
Like, you can fucking feel your ribs. And so, and there was a point where you went through something similar when we were in Seattle, and I would, so like, because I know Sean won't, if I was like, let me get you something, or here, let me spot you and just get me back whenever, Sean would just say no. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get some pizzas tonight. I'm gonna get some pizzas for us, just so you know, and to try and, I know I'm not working Sean on this. He knows and I know, but it's also, it was like, I think it softened it, and you'd be like, well, all right. I mean, if it's there, but it can't be. Yeah. But if I was like, hey, I'm at 7-Eleven, you want me to buy you a piece of pizza? Sean would be like, nope, I got to feel it. And we were talking about our low points, and mine was, probably one of the worst was, I had a martial arts school in Portland, Oregon. This is before I knew Sean, and I had a day job in Portland, and I had a martial arts club. Martial arts club had gone under, so I no longer have a martial arts club. I had lost my job. I had figured out, okay, I think I had a little, I don't even know if I had a little bit of money. But my situation was, I was going to move to Seattle and stay with my buddy. And it was like, this was planned out like a month in advance, right? Everything's planned. D-Day, like a week out before I'm moving up to Seattle, I'm like calling this guy, hey, we still good? Everything's cool. I'm coming up this day. Doesn't call me back. Isn't returning text, nothing. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Moving day comes, and I don't have options where I can, hey, can I stay another day or whatever? It's get the fuck out, right? So I'm driving to Seattle, driving to my buddy's place. On the drive, I don't even get a call. I get a fucking text because this guy doesn't like conflict. So
Jesus.
He calls and tells me, oh, my girl who he was living with, she didn't like the idea. I don't know what the long and short of it is, you can't move in here. So I'm just driving to Seattle. I had my dog at the time, Dempsey, my little Boston Terrier, and everything that consists of my life is in my car. And I'm driving to Seattle, no idea what the fuck I'm going to do. So I get up to Seattle, and for it was maybe about a week, I'm living out of the car. Carrie Hyatt, my Sifu, my friend, my instructor, one of my old instructors, I'm basically showering at his martial arts club, and he finds out what's going on. And Carrie had jimmied or built a little apartment underneath the martial arts club. It was basically a bedroom and then like a hall area. He made a kitchen in there. So Carrie finds out, and Carrie's like, dude, what are you doing? Just stay in the apartment. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And then Carrie was, and I always, and I know you're the same, Sean. It's like you remember these things. You're like, I'll never forget this shit. So Carrie, I'm like, okay, I'll sleep on the couch or whatever. And Carrie's like, no. He's like, take my bed. He's like, you're too fucking big for the couch. So Carrie not only gave me his place where he was staying in that apartment, gave me his bed, And then he just stayed over at his girl's a few times, or he would stay on the couch. And yeah, so I was there with my dog. Everything was good. And I was like, and then slowly figured it out from there. I'm trying to remember what I did to get back on my feet from there. Because what the fuck was it? I don't even remember what happened. Fuck, I've moved around so much and stuff. But I remember one time I was at the club and I was just, you get in those I know, you get those, you're depressed. There's like you're on like a cruise control of depression when you're at those levels. But then every once in a while you're like, whatever's like, oh, we're going to floor this depression. We're going to floor it.
Fuck yeah.
And so I had one of those nights, and I was talking to Carrie, and he was like, well, you don't have to teach tonight, because I was teaching at the club. And he's like, afterwards, we'll go to the bar next door, the pub next door. So we went to the bar next door, and he was like, we're going to get you fucked up. We're going to drink. So I was like, all right.
Oh.
So shots, he's drinking with me. We're doing shot after shot after shot after shot. And so end of the night, and I'm like, how the fuck, and Carrie's like, I don't know, 5'6" maybe. And I'm like, how the fuck is this little motherfucker hanging with me on these drinks? And he's buying all the drinks. We get back to the apartment underneath the club, and I'm fucking shit-faced. And he goes, you know what, buddy? He goes, I'm totally sober. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. And he goes, watch this. Does a fucking sidekick that, like, the wind goes by my nose. That's how fucking exact and pristine that kick was, and on point. Even though I was drunk, I was like, there's no way he could do that drunk. So I was like, what the fuck? He goes, I told her to just give me water with every shot you took. And
yeah.
I was like, you motherfucker. And I puked my fucking brains out that night.
Hell yeah.
But
hell yeah.
It's fucking, dude, so you were in that till August of 2018. 18 or 17? No.
18. Right?
No.
Oh, wait.
17. 2017.
17. That's right. No.
Our lease was up. Our lease was up in March of 2018.
Oh yeah. Right.
Or no. It was up in 2019. Jesus
That's
Christ.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been here for a year and some.
So then Sean, he was in that depression or whatever, got a job, moves to Pasadena, has a dope place, fucking decorating, and now I'm in Vegas decorating, and that's how this whole conversation came about, because we were talking about all the places we've been in life and being the ups and downs, and I was telling him, because I've always, and I don't know if you have too, for the most part, always tried to keep your nut low.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know what I'm saying, when I say I tried to keep my nut low, it means like, kind of like in the movie Heat. Don't have anything that you can't walk out of in any, like I've moved cross country back both sides, I think 6 times, 2 and back and 2 and back. And each time I've sold everything I owned other than like pictures or, important things, but all the other shit I've gotten rid of and never really fazed me. And again, that I owe that to Carrie, because I had filed bankruptcy a long time ago, and I was all bitching to Carrie. I was like, oh, I got to get rid of this and this TVs. And Carrie's just like, it's all just a bunch of shit. And I was like, what? And he's like, it's shit. You can replace it all. You got your friends, family, health, people that love you. Fuck all this shit. And ever since then, and that was, fucking 15, 20 years ago, ever since then, I've always been like, I own my things don't own me. So with that, and so like I've always kept shit light, like I try not to accumulate too much shit. So because I don't know if I'm going to move, I don't know. Growing up, I bounced around. I went to 13 different schools growing up, and I bounced between my dad's, my mom's, and my grandparents. So I think that ingrained in me, you don't know where you're going to be. You may be moving, so be ready to keep it in a bag, for the most part. So moving into this apartment now and decorating it and getting stuff, I was kind of, I don't know if venting or just whining to Sean. I was just like, fuck, man, it feels weird spending money and getting this shit. And your advice was like, enjoy it.
Yeah, man. It's about the experience right now. Like, experiencing this shit. Because, dude, I even, I've thought about too. So I think living that way has been a byproduct kind of two things. One of them is, and we were talking about this the other day or yesterday or something, but like one of them is, so like background on me, not a lot, but just a little, is I've been on the hustle for a long time in comedy, owning some companies, promoter, that kind of shit. Yeah. And so with that, having that kind of a hustle, I didn't want to have a lot of stuff. So like you were saying, I can move quick because I've moved all over the place, and it's not running from something, it's moving to something. It's, it's always for those reasons. So you have to be ready to do that. That's one of the reasons. Here's the second reason though that we were talking about too, is I want to be the one to say I can't have something. I don't want it taken from me. And because I've seen so much loss, I want to make the choice that, no, I'm not going to own the Beats headphones. And that way I can't own them and you get to take them from me. I just won't own them on my time. Because I need, especially in this kind of world, trying to figure it out, of not being in the 9-to-5 world and being more in that, like, this is on you world. It's you want control. You want to know that, because you have so little of it. So those little places you can have it, you want to kind of like, this is because of me, not because of these external bullshit forces. So that's another end of it too. But I want to say though, like, I think there's a larger point to this, like why we're talking about this. Because first off, being a person who has, I do have pride, and I worked my ass off and have taken those risks that have put me in really shitty positions in my life. So like those have been choices I've made that have led me to, whether it's homelessness or losing everything on multiple occasions, which is a real tough fucking thing to swallow. It's not that it just happens to you, it's that you live it. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole experience in itself. But the point of this is, because you work hard doesn't mean success. And we all need to understand that and know that. There's this thing that goes around that if you put your mind to it, you'll succeed. If you work hard, look what I'm telling everybody is I'm accepting this Grammy as long as you work hard. Look, it happened to me, it can happen to you. It happened to me, but it probably won't happen to you. Like, that's a better way to say it. Or it might happen to you or something else, because, so the point of this is, if some of us have gone through some experiences that we can talk about it and people can hear it and they can maybe catch something from it, that's our responsibility. As I consider all of it, me and you talking right now, it's not just me and you. It's all the people that are listening to this right now, dude. Let's just say it. We're all our own clique, man. Yeah. We're all a group of people, right? And I don't know all of you yet. I do know one of you, but I don't know all of you. But dude, I want to get to know who you all are, right? And so we are a clique. And so, dude, as a group of us who are on this channel right now, listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, we are a group, and there's others of you watching this too. So we're all doing this together right now. And I'm just saying, get yourself ready for the moment that you could be successful. So work hard and prep yourself to grab that opportunity. That's that whole luck thing people talk about. Luck is opportunity, preparation. But for real, I don't want to tell anybody here that you can do, like, I'm in a good spot, man. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because I make really good fucking money now. And I want people that hear this. That was a very vulnerable thing for me to do, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to show that video because that shows what I could interpret for myself as a weakness, of me being weak. And for me, when I see it, it's not being weak.
Sorry. Also, this is the worst time to laugh. But what if, the comic in me, you're like, when you're like, that could have been construed as weak. What if I just go, little bitch?
It was. Yeah, right?
Sorry. You were fucking on such a good roll. I'm sorry.
I was. Now you took me off my fucking wave. So I'm saying that that was a vulnerable thing, and the reason it was important for me to be vulnerable to people I don't even know, but I know we're all in the same clique, so I can be vulnerable with people, is that you just see the biggest like cock just sitting on my screen, just like
As you show the phone, yeah.
but like I think it's important to know that people have, myself included, have gotten out of it.
Yes.
And it was because of all the hard work.
So, dude, and this goes to what you're saying. I was going to do it the other day, but I'm going to wait, and I'll tell you to what. But so I reached 7,000 followers on Instagram, right? It's
nice.
Which is, it's so funny, and I'm going to wait till I get to 10K to do a video about it. But I was going to do it about 7,000, but 10, it's a nice round number. But it still applies what I was going to say. And what I was going to say, you know, thank everybody for following and this and that, and just talk about how wherever you're at, because I think it was a year ago, I was at like 2,000, and I've been, you know, taking advice from Kevin, and literally pretty much every single buddy, or every single person I'm friends with that's in comedy or whatever is like hundreds of thousands of followers. And it's so funny that this little, I'm like fucking 10K, thanks, you know, but it's like, you know, the baby steps, and people are on the ground level of me, so to speak, you know, and it's a cool thing. And I wanted to say, people, you know, every increment is a good increment, you know, as long as you're going in the right route. And something else that you made me think about is, you talked about those people that give the speeches that if you work hard, blah, 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 blah. We only know those stories because you're fucking up there.
Yep, exactly, dude.
You don't have the interview with the guy that was like, dude, I worked hard. I did everything, you know, fucking Brad Pitt did, but I fucking ended up homeless. you don't, yeah.
And that's right. There are so many people out there that just didn't get the moment that somebody else got, that was equally as talented, if not more. You know how many amazing singers, artists, rappers, comedians there are that exist that none of us will ever know, ever?
Dude. Yeah.
And they're fucking amazing and would blow most of what you see in this world probably out of the sky. So it's like, dude, yeah, I think it's important. I'm not going to say anything happens for anybody. Nothing's guaranteed. I would also say this, that I fully, and you know, Jay and I have talked about this many times, but I fully expect to lose everything again. It is not in my head that I have this. And so I enjoy this now, and I look at it, and I look around at it, and touch it, and feel it, and smell it, because I know it's not forever. And that's because we make choices too. So I would just say this. And I'm just saying, as a person who's going through this and has experienced some of this stuff, and so take it or leave it, really, right? That's right. Work hard. Put your fucking soul into it. There's a difference between wanting to work hard and working hard, though. So that you say, I'm gonna do this, or dude, I'm doing this, and blah blah blah. You can bullshit everybody, but you can't bullshit yourself. You can't. You know your truth. So look into your truth and be like, hey, you know, I talk so much about how much like fucking cake I got, or how much fucking like hustle I got, or this or that. But I think I just got swept up in that too. I need to know my reality, and make those moments and for yourself. And here's I'll cap it with this. And I live and die by this, man. I think this is a conscious thoughts that go through my head. Do not become connected to the outcome.
Oh, yeah. You always say that.
Yep, and you just spoke to it, though, because you're like, it was 1,000. Then it was 2,000. I just keep grinding it out. And when I get to 10,000, and if I get to 10,000, and when I get to 10,000, but you're hanging on to that as a goal, not as an outcome, that anything less than that is a failure.
Right, true.
You could look at Bobby Kelly and say, yo, you got, I don't know what he's got, but say it's 300,000 people or 700,000, whatever. I could look at that 300,000 and be like, I don't have that. I have 13. No 1,000 rate, just 13.
Yeah.
Fucking failure. Yeah, you're a failure because you just connected yourself to a 300,000 number outcome. So yeah, you're right. But let's not do that. Let's not get connected to outcomes. Let's get connected to the moment and incrementally rising, because you also want value in what you do. If you're buying followers, let's be real, it's about value, right? So think about that. Yeah, just keep fucking hustling, man. Do your thing.
Oh yeah.
Fuck everybody. Honestly, no bullshit. Don't listen to anybody that says you're fucking crazy, because that's real talk. People do say that. I'm sure you've heard it. Not you, Jay. Well, I know you, Jay. You've heard it, but people listening, you've heard it. Nah, you can't be a comedian. Nah, you can't be a rapper. Nah, you can't be an artist. No. You can't be the rapper.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. You can't do what I do.
Man.
Oh man, this might be one of the all-time, Sean. This might be one of the most deepest.
Yeah.
And but also a positive spin at the end.
I think so, man. It's all positive. I think that's all. It's all positive.
And also, speaking to what you just said, it reminds me of the thing Patrice O'Neal said in an interview. He was saying that he's fine with being a boutique taste. He doesn't need everybody, but the people that are for him rock with him. And that's what it's like, would you rather have 100 people that don't know you, don't know your little intricacies? I mean, people fucking, they know that my hoity-toity fucking stupid thing I say, how I say fuck or whatever. So do you want 100 people that don't know, they just are like, I heard about this guy and whatever, I don't know anything about him. I don't watch any of his shit. I'm just following him, or I was paid to follow him, or you bought followers? Or would you rather, or do you want fucking 20 people that are fucking down for you? They know your shit. They're telling other people, dude, Jay does this fucking, he's got this joke on this. That's what you want. You want the click. That's what you want, that click.
Right. Be efficient in your moves, but don't shortcut. Right? You can round out the corners of the moves you want to make, but don't take shortcuts.
By the way, I want this to become now. Just start doing inspirational quotes, Sean.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that guy either. Because
I know, but it's good.
I get that, because quotes are horseshit and they pump people up, and then that's as far as it goes. And
that's a great quote. Quotes are horseshit.
Because you know what I always say.
All right, let's wrap it up, Sean. What do you want to plug?
So I'm still not back out on the road yet. So just I'll keep you guys up to date.
What was the last club you did?
The last one was cool. I was out in Arizona, in southern Arizona, in this club that nobody's heard of before, called the Wagon Wheel.
Oh, Wagon Wheel. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. The laughs just go round and round.
Oh my fuck. Oh, dude, there's nothing's gonna outdo that. I know you hate it, and I fucking love it. I love it. Oh,
you made me do that.
Oh, the Wagon Wheel. The laughs go round and round. Oh, dude, the Wagon Wheel. Where the next round is on us. All right, the ones I'm plugging. So I'll be on. This is gonna come out tomorrow. That means if you listen to this right now, tomorrow or Friday, I'll be on Kev's Keep Your Distance show. You can get tickets. It's a socially distanced show, and you can see it online, streamed live. The lineup is packed. You got Ryan Davis, CP, T. Murph, who else? God damn it! Oh, Precious Hall. You got Precious Hall. Yeah. God, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that I love that's on the show, and Kev, of course, is on it. Tony Baker, fucking T. Baker. Yeah, but you can go to Kev on Stage for that. The week after that, Friday the 4th, I believe it's the 4th. I think it's a Friday. I'll be in Phoenix doing a drive-in show. All these shows, dates, and everything, and tickets you can get are at BigIrishJ.com. I'm at BigIrishJ on everything. Sean is at the McCannible, TheMcCann.
Hey, B-A-L.
Yeah. Is it
B-A-L.
ABL or BLO?
No,
IBL?
B-A-L. God damn it. Now it's all fucked up. McCannible, B-A-L.
McCann and then a letter BLE or
McCannible.
there you go. All right. Sorry.
With the McCannible.
Public school system. All right.
Great name.
Who thought that up?
You did. It's hard to fucking spell, though.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Again, I think this is in the record books is for the people that listen to this all the time. Fucking what? It's been 6 years, 7, 8, 20. I don't know. Yeah. I'm curious if people think this might be the deepest one we've ever had, the HollingsWorthless. But it's good. It's all good. Ended on a positive, which is how I like to think of Sean. He may come at you rough, but it always ends on a positive. What a great way to end it, right, Sean? Come on, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Your favorite.
Bye.